when we look at other human beings as he is black, she is white, he is Muslim, she's Christian, he's poor, she's rich, she's ugly, she's beautiful, and so on, we don't realize we are creating these concepts in our minds, which are enforcing us the sense of separation and division. I think the beginning of it is because we have this sense of me, my mind, my body, my soul, my life, my thoughts, my feelings. You see, we see the world as something separated from us. You know, in our minds, we have experienced the world as something separated from us. As a result of it, we are no longer capable to look into the source of our thoughts. We are taking possession of thoughts, feelings, as if they belong to us. And then we have this idea that, oh, this is my fear. And my fear is different from others' fear. It's my happiness. So my happiness is different from happiness from others. And then living with this reality, we don't see the interconnection between everything. The root of this sense is in our mind. This concept of me, the idea about myself separated from others, has guided my life since the beginning. Thoughts are important to us, but we should analyze it to see the effects of this in our life. As we said, thoughts are responsible for everything that we see in the world, as good as bad. Only when we are aware of it, we can take responsibility over our actions, feelings, and thoughts. Because a mind full of thoughts of separation and division has been working through reaction, because a mind like that starts from this sense of me, and from this sense, this mind needs to analyze, compare, and measure all experiences, and then make judgment. Through this, we take decisions in our life. And our decisions is always agreement and disagreement, like and dislikes, which is duality over all the reactions. And I think it brings all kind of violence among us. And because that, I believe, is extremely important, self-knowledge and self-improvement. You see, who you are and what you think you are two different questions.
Thought is, there's such a thing as the collective mind, and so many thoughts are not your thoughts, really. They arise in the collective mind. They are energy fields or energetic entities that one could almost think of them as little bubbles floating around. They may not be literally true. I haven't actually seen any bubbles, but little bubbles, thought forms floating around, and if the thought form discovers any resonance with anything inside you, for example, any form of negativity, and then there's a thought form in the collective mind, an even heavier thought form of negativity, just a slight irritation about what somebody said today. And then there's another thought form that resonates with that negativity, and then that bubble comes plop. And before you know it, the irritation has become something bigger. So you connect with the universal mind, and it moves through you. So when we deal with our so-called our own minds, is far more than our own minds, and whatever awareness arises in you is not just your benefit, it has an impact on the totality of the collective mind. When awareness arises in you, it means awareness is arising in the collective mind of humanity. So it's not just a personal thing. In the same way that any thinking that takes possession of your mind is not really personal. There is no personal thought as such. It pretends to be personal. It's the human collective mind. In the same way, of course, any emotion generated by that is not, it looks like my emotion, but it's either it's anger, or it's sadness, or it's jealousy, or it's whatever it is. And that's basically, it's the same in everybody when it arises. It attaches itself to slightly different stories in the mind of why I'm angry, but the anger is anger, human anger. So, again, it's not yours. You pick it up, and then it gets hold of you, and then many humans live virtually with a mind that has taken possession of them, pretends to be them, and they're stuck with it without even knowing it. If they knew it, there would be the beginning of freedom. They don't know it, and if you tell them they get angry, but they don't, the mind does, because it feels threatened. So there's still humans who won't hear this, they can't hear this, because immediately they would feel threatened by it, because they're totally possessed by the mind. You can see how, for example, certain collective thought forms can take possession of an entire country, such as happened, for example, during communism, Soviet communism in Russia, Maoism in China, millions of people all thinking the same thing. But even in our society, it's not necessarily one monolithic thought form as such as that, but there are different thought forms through the media become perpetuated, and without knowing it, often they are our most basic assumptions, how we interpret the universe and the world around us. Our basic assumption are thought forms that come out of the collective, have taken possession of us, and they're all forms that consciousness takes in the mind. And that's all fine in itself. It's fine if there is an awareness, but if thought is all there is, it becomes destructive and insane.
By an honestly analysis, we cannot find this me anywhere. It isn't in our body, it isn't in our mind either. It's just a powerful thought. It's a concept. And where do our thoughts come from? Thoughts coming from a universal mind. It's not my feeling, my thought. As an individual, we live in this field of this universal mind, connected with all humans' feelings and thoughts. That is not my fear, that is not my happiness. That is only fear and happiness. That is only love. Through my ego, which is this sense, I believe my love is different from others. But if there is only love, we have to accept that the love, the way we feel it, it's only a partial love, mixed with our sense of individuality. As an individual, I am immersed in this universal mind, and I get my feelings and thoughts from it. And then I give my own interpretation for my feelings and thoughts. With this perception, we cannot see. We are not different. We are equals as human beings. And also unique as an individual. But we are sharing our thoughts and feelings coming from this universal mind.
Ra